The corner office at Morris Technologies screamed wealth, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking downtown, museum-grade artwork, and today, my Uncle Marcus's smug grin as he watched me empty his trash. "Sophia's just here to tidy up before the investors arrive," he said to my cousin David, who barely looked up from his phone. "Can't have Summit Capital thinking we run a junkyard, can we?" I kept my expression neutral as I gathered coffee cups and straightened a stack of magazines. If only they knew, Summit Capital wasn't just any investor. It was mine. Let me rewind. I'm Sophia Reyes. To my family, I'm the night cleaner at their beloved tech company, but that's only part of the story. 10 years ago, when my father died, Uncle Marcus swooped in like a vulture. He told my grieving mother that she couldn't possibly manage a tech company alone, especially with a teenage daughter in tow. He'd help run things, just until I was old enough to take over. That help became a takeover. Within months, he'd gutted the company, diluted our shares, and forced us out. My mother was shattered. The company my father built from scratch now belonged to a man who had always resented his success. "It's for the best," Marcus said as he handed over a pitiful buyout check. "Tech's no place for women." I was 16 when I watched my mother sign away our legacy. That night, I made a vow, I would take it all back. So I worked, through high school and college. I cleaned offices by night and studied business and computer science by day. Marcus had no idea, he'd made me invisible. A cleaner, after all, is just background noise. No one questions what she sees, or hears. By 24, I had an MBA and a plan. I launched Summit Capital with my savings and a name that meant something, Summit, the street where my father's first company began. In a few short years, it became one of the city's top venture firms. And no one in my family had a clue. To them, I was still just Sophia the cleaner, the cautionary tale, the girl who proved women can't run companies. Let them think that. It made what came next easier. Because Morris Technologies was drowning. Their tech was obsolete, their leadership incompetent, they needed cash, badly, and when they reached out to Summit Capital, they had no idea they were actually reaching out to me. For 6 months, I played along. During my cleaning shifts, I collected more than garbage. I saw the fake financials, the debt they tried to bury, the luxury getaways Marcus and David took while slashing staff. And now, here I was, emptying trash one last time before the big meeting. "Sophia," Marcus called as I headed out, "make sure the conference room shines. We're meeting real players today." I nodded. "Yes, Uncle Marcus." "Oh, and," he still didn't look at me, "don't wear anything flashy. We don't want the investors noticing the help." I closed the door behind me, a slow smile forming. Downstairs, in my locker, waited a Saint Laurent suit and Louis Vuitton heels worth more than Marcus's car. In my briefcase, documents exposing every skeleton in their books, and Summit Capital's offer to buy the company outright. My phone buzzed. "Car's ready when you are, Miss Reyes, the board's assembled." Then a second message. "Your mother's jet just landed. She's eager to see Marcus's face." She'd known all along. We planned this together. We were just waiting for the perfect moment. She'd played the grieving widow flawlessly. To the family, my mother was a shattered woman, broken, helpless, lost without my father. In truth, she'd been my silent partner from the beginning, reveling in every step of our long game. I glanced at my reflection in the window, still in my cleaner's uniform. In 2 hours, I'd return as my true self, Sophia Reyes, CEO of Summit Capital, here not to clean up the office, but to clean house. My uncle's words from a decade ago rang in my ears, "Women aren't cut out for the tech world." I straightened a photo on his wall, one where he grinned like a king at the peak of his power, claiming credit for a company he stole. "We'll see about that, Uncle Marcus," I murmured. "We'll see." 2 hours later, I stood in the bathroom of the Morris Technologies lobby, transformation complete. The cleaner's uniform was tucked neatly into my designer tote. In its place, a tailored black Saint Laurent suit, red-soled heels, and a calm, ruthless elegance. My hair, once hidden under a cap, now fell in polished waves. The timid cleaner was gone. In the mirror stood the CEO of Summit Capital, worth more than the building she was about to walk into. My phone buzzed. A message from my mother. In position in the waiting area, Marcus walked right past me. "Ready when you are, sweetheart." I smiled, applying one last coat of red lipstick. She'd played her part beautifully over the years. No one in the family questioned how she always had money, assuming some savvy advisor was managing her finances. They weren't wrong. That advisor was me. Through the glass walls of the conference room, I saw them all. Marcus at the head of the table, gesturing with performative charm. David sat beside him, still glued to his phone. Around them, board members, executives, relatives, all of whom had once helped push us out. They had no idea what was coming. I approached the receptionist, the same one who'd watched me mop floors just an hour earlier. "I'm here for the Summit Capital meeting," I said smoothly. She blinked, flustered. "Oh, they're expecting someone from Summit Company." "That's me." I handed her my card. Her eyes widened. "Of course, right this way, Ms. Reyes." Inside, Marcus was mid-speech. "Summit Capital would be lucky to partner with us. Morris Technologies is poised for exponential." He stopped, brow furrowed, as I walked in. First, irritation, then confusion, and finally, dawning recognition. "I'm sorry," he said sharply, "this is a private meeting. Sophia must have forgotten to put the sign up again." "Actually," I said, my voice calm and clear, "I'm right where I need to be." I crossed the room and slid my business card across the table. Sophia Reyes, CEO, Summit Capital. Dead silence. Marcus's face drained of color. David dropped his phone. The rest of the room shifted uneasily, finally connecting the dots. "This is some kind of stunt," Marcus said, trying to recover. "You're the cleaning staff." "No, Uncle Marcus," I said, taking a seat opposite him. "I'm the CEO of the firm you've been desperately trying to woo, though I have learned a great deal during my evening cleaning shifts." I opened my briefcase and spread out the documents. "These are the falsified reports you sent to investors. These outline your hidden debt, and these," I held up a thick folder, "detail the illegal tactics you used to force my mother and me out of our company." He blanched. "You can't prove." "Actually," I interrupted, "I can." The doors opened behind me. My mother entered, poised and powerful. "Hello, Mother," I said, perfect timing. She stepped forward and placed her own folder on the table. "Marcus," she said coolly, "you should have paid closer attention to where those worthless shares ended up after you conned me out of them." Her smile was razor sharp. "Summit Capital has been a majority shareholder for quite some time now." David bolted up. "This is insane. She's nobody. She cleans offices." "Correction," I said, eyes locked on his. "I own the cleaning company, just like I own the venture capital firm you're begging to save you, just like, as of this moment, I own controlling interest in Morris Technologies." I sat back, letting the weight of it settle in the room. For the first time in a decade, they saw me. I tapped a button on my phone, and the conference room's screen flickered to life. Summit Capital's portfolio appeared in crisp, glowing detail, billions in assets, hundreds of successful investments, and, at the top of the screen, a new acquisition, majority stakeholder, Morris Technologies. "You see, Uncle Marcus," I said, my tone calm and razor sharp, "while you were busy insisting that women don't belong in tech, I was building an empire. Every time I emptied your trash, I was gathering intelligence. Every time you ignored me, I was mapping out the cracks in your foundation." I stood slowly, watching as his arrogance drained away. "And now, I own everything you stole, every patent, every employee badge, every square foot of this building, the legacy my father built, the one you tried to erase." "You can't do this," he whispered, "we're family." My mother laughed softly from beside me, chilled and resolute. "Was it family when you manipulated me while I was grieving, when you turned your back on your brother's daughter and stole what was rightfully hers?" I pressed another button, the door opened, and 2 security guards stepped inside. "These gentlemen will escort you out," I said evenly. "You too, David, as of this moment, you're both terminated." David sputtered, "You're firing us?" "No," I said, tilting my head, "I'm restoring order, I'm taking back what's mine." I paused, then added with a pointed smile, "Although, the maintenance team is hiring, someone has to clean the offices." Marcus surged to his feet, red-faced and shaking. "You ungrateful little." "Careful," I interrupted smoothly, "security works for me now, and unlike you, they know when to keep their hands to themselves." As they were escorted out, the board sat in stunned silence. "Shall we get started?" I said, returning to my seat at the head of the table. Let's talk about the future of Morris Technologies. I've got a few updates. For the next hour, I laid out a sweeping vision: modernization, transparency, real leadership. By the end, even the doubters looked at me with something new in their eyes. Respect. That evening, I sat in what was once my uncle's office, what had originally been my father's, watching the city glow beneath the skyline. My mother entered with 2 glasses of champagne. "Your father would be proud," she said quietly, handing me one. I took it, my eyes lingering on the framed nameplate I'd unearthed from storage: Antonio Reyes, founder. "Do you think 10 years of scrubbing floors was overkill?" I asked with a smile. She laughed. "Darling, you built a billion-dollar company in plain sight while they dismissed you as invisible. That's not overkill, that's genius." My phone buzzed with fresh messages. "Marcus, you've destroyed this family." "David, this isn't over." "Cousins, we had no idea. We're so sorry." I blocked them all without hesitation. "What now?" my mother asked. I turned the old nameplate over in my hands. "Now we rebuild. The right way." A call came in from security. Marcus tried to delete company files. Should we press charges? I considered it for a moment, then shook my head. No, let him go. He's already lost everything: his job, his reputation, his pride. Tomorrow, when the press release goes live announcing the Summit Capital acquisition, he'll lose the last thing he was clinging to, the illusion that he ever had real power. I turned back to the window, the same one I'd once wiped down night after night, unseen and underestimated. "You know what the best part is?" I said. "He spent 10 years looking through me, never realizing the cleaner was the one writing his ending." Sometimes the best revenge isn't just taking back what's yours. It's building something so untouchable that your enemies are forced to watch you rise. It's becoming everything they said you could never be. It's not just about cleaning up the mess. It's about owning the building where the mess was made. I raised my glass to the skyline. To 10 years of patience. To reclaiming a legacy. To the perfect revenge. My mother clinked her glass against mine. To cleaning up the family business.